Hey everybody. Hope you guys doing alright. So I just checked YouTube for the first time really today. I mean, I've made a couple videos, but I haven't really gone to see what everybody else is talking about. And I mean, from my perspective, it's sad. It's sad. You know, there's a lot of talk about ascension and the rapture, and you know, David Wilcock, the dude who was on, one of the people who was on Ancient Aliens, that show that was on History Channel for a minute. He's got a YouTube channel, and he did a live stream the other day, which I thought was extremely informative. So thank you, David, for doing that, first of all. But he brought up ascension and the rapture, and the message he'd received that this was going to happen in about 2 years. Now, I don't know when or even if this is going to happen. I try not to focus on those type of things because I think it says even in the good book, nobody knows when. So even if it's going to happen, nobody knows when. So what's the point of trying to like predict when it may happen, you know, because you have no idea. It could be tomorrow, it could be, it could be 2,000 years from now. I mean, we really don't know. They say that the way we view time is much different than the way God views his time. I think it's like one day here is, 100 years in heaven, or vice versa or something. I'm a little tired, so sorry guys, but one thing that I feel very, very good I don't know if I feel good about it, but I feel strongly about is the whole nature of ascension and, you know, the rapture and what's really going on there. Let's try to break it down to more of a scientific level, because to me it's just about being going up to a higher vibrational realm of being. So you would have to ascend to a higher vibrational level. So which means you're going to have to be lighter. You're going to have more love. You're going to have to be able to do more. You're going to have to need less. You're going to have less of a heavy, toxic, negative impact on this planet. Okay? Now, I think it's fair to say that the people in power, the opponents, or the opponent to myself and others like myself, they're probably very much well aware of this. So knowing that they're well aware of this, they're going to do whatever they can to keep as many of us here, because as long as they keep as many of us here, then they're able to continue to extract power from us and keep us as their slaves, essentially. So since they know this whole process is going to go down, and they know the elements that keep a creature at a lower vibrational level, and they know the elements that keep a creature at a higher vibrational level, what they present to us from their motive, what we know of their motive, which is to enslave and to keep us at a lower vibration, more than likely is going to be associated with those motives, keeping us at a lower vibration and keeping us as slaves. So this whole society that we see in America, especially because we've been hit hard in America, because I believe it is in America that we have a very good possibility of flipping the script on them. But until then, we're going to continue to get hit really hard because we are a threat to them. But that's why so much emphasis for me, I feel, needs to be put on the way we choose to live our lives. The things we support, the jobs that we choose to do, I'm not saying quit your job right now. No, we need an alternative infrastructure. We need an alternative work system. We need an alternative everything: education, medical, government, military, police, rehabilitation, the prison system. The whole thing needs to change. It's all geared to keep our vibrations at a lower level, all of it. And the cool thing is, though, is like it can change really quick. Hemp is ready to harvest in 4 months. Tesla coil has been around for a minute. 3D printing technology is here. Okay, the only thing that's really lacking is that enough people aren't speaking about it. Enough people really aren't wanting to do it. Too many people are afraid to open up their arms and their hearts to other human beings, and also to sacrifice the things they don't really need. This is going to be a message to you guys with money, because you guys, it's going to be hard for a lot of you, or any type of attachment that you have that's holding you down and weighing you down. You're not going to be able to ascend, in my opinion, or it's going to be extremely difficult, because it's all about your heart needing to be lighter than a feather. So if you're sitting on $100 million in your bank, while the rest of the world is suffering immensely, especially if you happen to come across, I'm just being real, especially if you happen to come across my channel and I present ideas on ways that you can help starving children, and you still choose to do nothing. I'm not saying you have to do anything to me. You don't have to do nothing to me. You guys can take my ideas and use it on your own. I've said that, and I'll continue to say it. Please, just take whatever information I share with you and use it. I don't want people to use it for profit, but if you do, you do. That's your choice. But I would love to see, and I encourage people to help starving children, because that is a very, very huge problem here. And nothing's really going to get changed until we start thinking like that, because that's the mentality that we need. That's the type of mentality that is in accordance, in alignment with 5D, or higher vibrational levels of being, whatever you want to call it. That's what that's really what lightening your heart is about, helping others that are in need. Okay, how can you have a light heart if you're continuing to deny a starving child food? I mean, does that really seem like something Jesus would do? You know, does that seem like even the right thing to do? You know, because we don't see it every day with our eyes, it's hard for us to remember that it's there. But it's always there. And I think something in the back of our minds knows it's always there. And that's also why I think it's important that more of us speak out about this, to remind people that, hey, there's a very serious problem here that a lot of humanity is not taken care of. And the really tragic part about it is a lot of you guys think you don't have to. And going back to the concept of one, if you really believe that we're all one and we're all family and we're all connected, and then like what I do to one person comes back on me because we're all essentially family, then if you guys continue to let those children starving out there, you're essentially letting yourself starve. So again, how is that the right thing to do? How is that, you know, acting in accordance with ascension? What does it mean to ascend? I mean, it just seems like a lot of people just think they just have to wait it out, like it's a waiting game. No, it's not a waiting game. It's a work game. You got to put in the work. You got to do the spiritual work. You got to do the work that's needed here on the planet. Do you know how many animals are dying every single day because of our consumerism? I mean, there's just so many things that are wrong with the world. And it's like, you think you can take these type of mentalities to a higher vibrational reality. You can't. Because you're going to bring that fucked upness with you, and you're going to start, it won't even allow you, because you have to be, it's a scientific thing, it's a physical thing. Your physics, your energy has to be at a certain velocity to be able to get through a barrier that keeps the dimensions. If you don't have enough oomph to get through that barrier, you ain't going to make it. You're going to stay here and you're going to be a slave to these people. And that's what they want. Everything that they have before you, everything that you do every day, for the most part, is probably designed to work in their favor. So this is why we need a whole entire infrastructure change. And this is also why I feel like I'm continuing to get messages from the Lord, from the good book, about the destruction that's coming to these cities, to Israel, to people that have turned their ways. And you have to look at, like, things are different now. So turning against the ways, like love, okay, living in harmony, that's what Jesus taught, you know, sacrifice, taking care of one another. You do unto the least of me, you do unto me. Okay, again, the least of us, the children, the starving children, what could be even least than that, you know? And then also you have to figure in, if your lifestyle is perpetuating destruction to any other type of creature, that in itself is perpetuating hate, is perpetuating murder, is perpetuating destruction. So, and that's just one aspect of it. If you're doing multiple things, that's multiple aspects of negativity that are going to be inherent onto your person as a spiritual being, and you're going to take it with you, and it's going to weigh your soul down, no matter, not to mention whatever else it is you're doing. You know, if your body isn't clean, if you have addictions, if you're spreading hate amongst people, if you're caught up in money, if you're not wanting to share, if you're ignoring messages that are coming to you. I mean, there's a lot of different things that can come your way to keep you from growing. And what I just saw on the internet made me feel like people were like, had almost backslidden. Like, I know it's a depressing day. Like, I went to the store and a lot of people are depressed. So it is what it is. One of those days. But at the same time, this is kind of the same. I mean, I've started to see a little bit more, but I'm still not seeing enough. Like, and people aren't getting the message. And like people like David Wilcock, they love talking about 5D and ascension and all that, but they miss out on the work that it actually takes to get there. And they miss out on the fact that we have starving children in Africa that die every single day, thousands of it, tens of thousands of them, and we could actually do something about it, yet we choose not to. We choose not even to talk about it. We're not even talking about this stuff. And yet we are calling ourselves human beings. To me, this is a fundamentally extremely disturbing and wrong thing for us to continue to perpetuate. And I hope, and I pray, and I ask for us to change, to please change your ways. You'll be better off. Like, since I've changed my ways, I feel better off. Yeah, I still have down days, but I feel much better now that I'm not as heavy as I was when I was having to take a ton of drugs every single day. And that's just one aspect of being heavy. If you have a ton of money and you're not doing anything good with it, that's going to weigh your soul down. It is what it is. If you're perpetuating greed, if you're just going after greed, if you're perpetuating some other type of negative, toxic, demonic spell, that's going to weigh your soul down. You're not going to get to the next dimension. You're going to be stuck down here to fucking playing their little game, and you're not going to be the one telling them what to do. They're going to be the one telling you what to do. It's not going to be fun. You're not going to be a human being anymore. There is something as an illegitimate child. Okay, being a human being is all about love. It's about taking care of yourself and others. And if you stop doing that, you cease to become a real human being. And I don't want to see that for anybody, because that's horrible. It is what it is. It's part of what needs to happen, but I still don't want to see it, okay? I still have my own desires of not wanting to see people transmutate that badly in the wrong direction, especially with the type of filth they're perpetuating. It's disgusting stuff. So I know it's going to happen, but it doesn't mean I have to like it. Anyways, I implore you guys to just start speaking about these things. It doesn't have to be about the kids if you don't want it to be, but there's plenty of topics. I mean, the earth is hurting. There's so many different areas of the earth and animals that need our help. And we're continuing to largely not talk about them. So the more we work on this, the better the whole world will get, and the better you'll get as an individual. All right, I love you guys. Y'all take care. Bye.